Okay. In the last class, we have been discussed about the what are the concepts we have been discussed in the last class. Means inside the C functions, we have been discussed what is meant by a function. Function is nothing but a subprogram. We are going to be called function. We are going to be called it as what? We are going to be called it as a subroutine, or we are going to be called it as a subroutine. And a function is nothing but an individual task inside a program. If you define the tasks individually, means we are going to define something concept called functions. And in the last class, what are the two types of functions are there, we have been discussed. What are the two types of functions are there means user defined functions and standard library functions. Whatever the functions we are creating, those functions we are going to be called it as what? User defined. And standard functions nothing but what? In the previous programs, in every program we are going to use some scanf and printf functionality. And that printf and scanf functionality code has been developed, written by the C developers, and by using the hash include stdio dot, we are going to use we are going to include those functions. And such type of functions we are going to be called it as what? Standard library functions. And inside the functions, what are the types are there? Which type of function we are going to be called it as a return type function, and which type of function we are going to be called it as a non-return type function, we have been discussed. And inside the function, while creating the functions, what are the three things we are going to be done inside the program is function declaration, function calling, function definition. And these are the things we need to be done inside the what? Program. And this type of thing we are going to be called it as a function declaration. In some, it is optional. We can declare or we cannot declare, but what is the two things we need to be done mandatorily inside the program is function call and function definition. Defining the code, we are going to be called it as what? Function definition. And calling, we are going to be called it as what? If you are writing the statement in this manner, means we are going to be called it as what? Function call. And these are the topics we are discussing in the last class. And in the last class, we have been discussed what are the different aspects are there in calling the functions. And what are the different four aspects we are having: without argument, without return value, without argument, with return value, with argument, without return value, and with arguments and with return value. These are the four aspects we are discussing in the last class. And today's class, what is the concept we are going to be discussed here means the most important concept for exam point of view, as well as the most important concept mandatorily we need to learn inside the C functions as what? What is the concept we are going to be discussed here means C call by values and call by reference inside the what? Call by value and call by reference inside the what? C language. And inside the syllabus, this scenario we are going to be called it as what? Passing parameters to functions. And inside that we are going to call it as what? Call by value and call by value and call by reference. And today's class we are going to today's class we are going to we are going to discuss about the what? Functions here, call by value and call by reference. Hello,
sir.
all of you hearing my voice or not?
Yes, sir. Sir, కొందరికి వస్తలేదు సార్ లింక్. చావ్యకి వస్తలేదు.
Link
ఓపెన్ అవ్వట్లేదంట.
Okay, once again I will share.
It is giving trouble, sir. After we were trying to 2 to 3 minutes, it is coming, sir.
Okay. Once again I will share inside the WhatsApp here. Okay, I am sharing once again. Okay. Okay, I have shared.
Okay.
Now, what is the concept we are discussing here means, what is the concept we are discussing? Here we are discussing about the what? Uh, okay, call by value and call by reference. In our syllabus, these things we are going to be called it as what? Passing parameters to the functions. Which type of parameters we are going to be passed to the what? Functions here. Which type of parameters we are passing through the what? Parameters. And okay, uh, uh, okay. Here, what is the two things we need to be remember? Call by value means what is the important thing you need to be remember blindly means the value is not going to be modified. Call by value means what is the important thing you need to be remember? The value is not going to be modified. Not going to be modified. We need to be remember. And call by reference means whatever the value we have been passed, that value inside the function, if we are manipulating means that value is going to be modified. These are the two key points we need to be remember as for the word call by value and call by reference. Call by value means what is the thing we need to be remember? The value, if we are manipulating that value inside the function means that value is not going to be changed. Whereas inside the call by reference, if the value is manipulated means the value is going to be changed and reflected outside. Here the value is not going to be changed and the value is not going to be, whatever the manipulated value is there, that value is not going to be changed and reflected into the water outside. And what is the important thing we need to be remember for the call by value and call by reference means modification done inside the call by value function is not going to be done, not going to be reflected to the outside. Manipulation done inside the call by reference function is going to be reflected outside. Yes. This one, for this one we need to remember modified as what? Yes. For this one we need to remember modified as what? No. And here what is the call by value means, what is the other name of call by value we need to be remember. Call by value means copying the values. Okay, the value of actual parameters copied into the what? Formal parameters, we are going to be called it as what? Call by value. What is meant by the actual parameters and what is meant by the formal parameters, we are going to see now inside the program. Which type of things we are going to be called it as actual parameters and which type of things we are going to be called it as what? Formal parameters. Actual parameters means what? Formal parameters means what? Which values are going to be copied? Actual parameter values are going to be copied into the what? Formal parameters. And here now we are going to see practically about which type of thing we are going to be called it as a actual parameters and which type of things we are going to be called it as a formal parameters here. And here this sum of, here we are having one statement as what? This is the program which is demonstrating about the what? Demonstrating about the call by value. Here which type of things we are going to be called it as a what is the, which type of things we are going to be called it as what? Actual parameters here. Actual parameters means what? Actual parameters means what? Here inside the main method you have been declared some int a is equal 10 and int b is equal 20, and here you are displaying a and b value before the function is invoked, and here swap of a comma b, and these values a comma b we are going to be called it as what? A comma b we are going to be called it as what? Actual parameters. We are going to be called it as what? Actual parameters. And which type of thing we are going to be called it as a formal parameter? Which type of thing we are going to be called it as a formal parameter means, here we have inside, while defining the function, whatever the parameters type and variable name we are indicating, those things we are going to be called it as what? Formal parameters. We are going to be called it as what? Formal parameters. And this one we are going to be called it as what? Actual parameters. And this one we are going to be called it as what? Formal parameters. And inside the call by value, what is the thing is going to be done here? What is the inside the definition? What is the thing they have been defined? The actual parameter values are copied into the what? formal parameters. The actual parameters values are going to be copied into the what? Formal parameters. And in the previous diagram, what is the thing we have been discussed? We cannot modify those values of the actual parameters by the what? Formal parameters. We cannot modify those values by using the what? Actual parameters by what? Formal parameters. And here what is the a means what is the value we are having? 10. The 10 is going to be copied into this a, and inside this all of you know what is meant by this swapping. Swapping nothing but what? Interchanging. And to interchange means we are writing these 3 lines of code we are going to write. Here temp is equal to what is the thing? A, and a is equal to what is the thing? We are indicating it as b, and b is equal to what is the thing we are indicating? Temp. A value for a, b value is going to be assigned. For b, indirectly what is the value is going to be assigned here means a value is going to be assigned. Here we are interchanging these values by using this logic. And here a value is what? 10. The 10 is going to be copied into this a, and b value is 20. The 20 is going to be copied into the what? B. And here inside this function we have been interchanged. And after that we are writing something as what? After swapping, the values of a and b are what? Here what is the value it is going to be displayed? A is equal to 20 and b is equal to what? 10. And after completion of this statement, where it is going to be moved? It is going to move to the next line. Okay, whenever this function has been called, means it is moving from here to here. And after completion of these lines of code, where it is going to be moved? It is going to move here. And here what is the value of a and b? It is going to be displayed outside the function, whether the a and b value has been changed or not. Inside the function a and b value has been changed, but outside the function it is going to be changed or not, modified or not. Call by value means what is the thing we are remembering? The value is not going to be modified. So if the value is not going to be modified means what is the value it is going to be displayed? A is equal to what is the value it has to be displayed? A is equal to 10, and b is equal to what is the value it has to be displayed? B is equal to 20. It is going to be displayed. And this type of passing we are going to be called it as what? Call by value. Call by value means what is the definition you need to be remember? The formal parameter values are going to be copied into the actual parameter values are going to be copied into the what? Formal parameters. And inside the call by value, the value is not going to be modified even though we have manipulated inside the function. The values are not going to be changed outside even though we have manipulated inside the what? Function. And if I am executing this program, whether it is going to display here, we have interchanged inside the sum function, whether the a and b value has been changed here or not. And here what is the, if I am executing this program, means here I am build and run. And if I am executing this program means whether the value is going to be changed and reflected or not, we are going to be checked here. Okay, here, okay, before swapping the values, a is equal to what? 10, and b is equal to what? 20. And it is existed inside the which method? Main method. And after calling this function, what is the statement it is executing after calling this statement? What is the statement after swapping? After swapping the values inside the function, after swapping the values inside the function, a is equal to what? 20, and b is equal to 10. And after complete execution of this function, again it is moving into the main method. And inside the main method, whether the values of a and b has been changed or not means what is the thing it is showing? After swapping the values inside the main, a is equal to what? It is not showing it as what? 20. And b is equal to what? It is showing it as it is not showing it as 10. What is the previous values? Whatever the values we have defined inside the main method, those values itself it is showing inside the what? Inside this statement. Inside the statement which is existed inside the what? Main method. And this type of scenario we are going to be called it as what? Uh, uh, call by value. Call by value. Call by value means what are the three statements we need to be remembered? The values are not going to be modified even though we have manipulated inside the function. And inside the call by value, what is the thing it is going to be done? The actual parameter values are going to be copied, just being copied into the what? Formal parameters. And here all of you listen carefully here. What is the one more important thing we need to be remember here means, what is the one more important thing we need to be remember here means, inside the main memory, A is going to assign it the memory as what? 100. And B is assigning the memory as what? 101. And here what is the value we have been passed? 10. Here we have been passed something as what? 20. And here inside the call by value, this value is being copied into the where? This value is being copied into the A. And this value, B value is copied into the what? 20. Copied here. The B value is being copied from A to B. And this is the main method. This is the swap method. And here what is the inside the swap method? What is the thing we have been done? Inside the swap method we have been interchanged. We have been interchanged the values by using the what? Temp. And here temp means what? Temp is equal to what is the value we have been assigned? A value is what? A value is 10. Here we are assigning the value as what? 10. And A is equal to what is the value we have been overwritten here means, A is equal to we have been overwritten it as what? 20. And B is equal to what is the value we are assigned? B is equal to what is the value we have been assigned here means, B is equal to we have been assigned it as what? B is equal to temp. Temp value is what? 10. And we have been changed it as what? 10. And here now A and B values are what? A is 20 and B is 10. But what is the thing we need to be remember here means, whenever we are passing the values as call by value means, here what is the memory address it has been assigned? 100. What is the memory address it has been assigned? 101. But inside the function, what is the memory address it is existed? 200. And it is existed as 201. It is existed as 202. And inside the call by value, the separate memory is going to be allocated to the variables. The same memory we are not using. We are using the separate memory. So that's why what is the thing has not been changed inside the main method means, A value has not been changed and B value has not been changed. That's why inside the main method, after swapping, after invoking the swap method also, it is still showing the A and B values inside the main method as what? Inside the A and B values inside the main method, it is showing it as what? A is equal 10 and B is equal 20. But inside the swap method, what is the values has been changed? A is equal 20 and B is equal 10 has been occurred. But why it is not going to be changed means, the here inside the swap method the memory is different. Inside the main method, A and B memories are different. That's why the values are not going to be reflected outside. And this is the scenario about the what? This is the scenario about the what? Call by value. Call by value. And now we are going to discuss what is meant by the call by reference. And call by reference means what? And here we are not going to copy the actual parameters into the what? Formal parameters. Here we are going to pass it the variables of which type means, address of the variable we are going to be passed. Here we are not copying the value. Here we are passing something as what? Address of the variable we are going to be passed. And whenever we are passing the address of the variable means, what is the thing is going to be done by using the call by reference means, it is going to change it as what? Modification is going to be changed. If we manipulate the values inside the function means, the values are going to be changed and the values are going to be reflected outside. The values are going to be changed and the values are going to be reflected outside. And here, what is the call by reference means? Modification is going to be done or not going to be done? The modification is going to be done. Why? Because we are passing the values as what? Address of the variables we are passing. Why? Because we are passing it as what? Address of variables we are passing. And now we are going to see practically about the practical program about the what? Call by reference. And here I am, whatever the previous code is there, the same code we are going to be executed. Okay, the same code we are going to be executed here. Whatever the previous code is there, the same code we are going to be executed. But what is the slight differences we are going to be done? And here inside the declaration we are mentioning it as what? Int. But inside the call by reference, inside the declaration, the parameters we are indicating it as what? Pointer type we are indicating. We are indicating it as what? Pointer type. And inside the call by value, we are passing the, while calling the swap method, we are calling it as what? A comma B. Swap of A comma B. While calling the while making the function call, we are passing the parameters as what? Swap of A comma B. We are just passing the 10 comma 20. Indirectly we are passing it as what? 10 comma 20. Inside the call by reference, here we are not passing 10 comma 20. Here we are passing something as what? Address of A. And here we are passing it as what? Address of B. While calling the function, we are passing it as what? Address of A. And here we are passing it as what? Address of B. Inside the definition, how the values are going to be passed means by using the address. That's why we are passing instead of inside the call by value, what is the statement we are writing? Swap of what is the statement we are writing? A comma B. And here inside the call by reference, we are passing it as what? Swap of ampersand A comma ampersand B. We are passing. What is the ampersand A means what? Address. Address of A and address of B we are passing. And how we are receiving these values? Inside the call by value, we are receiving it as what? Int A comma int B. But here it has been passed as address type. So we are taking it as what? Receiving it by using the which type? Pointer type. We are receiving it by using the which type? Pointer type. And int asterisk A. All of you know what is meant by the asterisk A, pointer A. And here what is the thing? Int asterisk B. Here we are passing it as what? Pointer B. Pointer B nothing but what? It is taking the value, whatever the inside this address, whatever the value is there, that value it is going to be copied. And the address is also been notified. Address is also been copied. And here what is the inside the call by value, you are writing temp is equal to A is equal to B, and B is equal to temp. And here inside the call by reference, you are writing it as what? Temp is equal to asterisk A, and asterisk A is equal to asterisk B, and asterisk B is equal to temp. And inside the backend, what is the actual scenario it is going to be happened? Here, whenever we are passing this value means, whenever we are passing this value, what is the thing it is going to be done? What is the thing it is going to be done here? And here what is the thing it is going to be done here means, all of you listen carefully. If you understood this diagram means, you are going to understand the concept in easy way. And here what is the thing it is going to be done here means, while passing, here we are passing something as what? Swap of ampersand A comma ampersand B. Then what is the thing it is going to be done here means, this entire thing is going to be copied from here to here. What is the memory address it is going to be copied? 100. And what is the value it is going to be copied? 10. And here the memory address is what? Here the memory address is what? Here also here the memory address is what? here the memory address is what, 100. As it is this a variable memory, and a variable value is going to be copied into the what, swap function. And this entire thing is going to be copied, memory address as well as value is going to be copied into the what, and into the which one it is going to be copied here, it is going to be copied into the what, uh, it is going to be copied into this swap. And after that, what is the, we have been interchanged, temp is equal to, what is the logic we have been written, temp is equal to, what is the logic we have been written, a. And that a is going to be copied here, and here 101 memory 102, and a is equal to temp, what is the temp is equal to, what is the statement we have been written, temp is equal to a is equal to, what is the value we have been written, b. And b value is what, 20. And a is equal to, b is equal to a, the value is going to be done it as what, 10. And inside this memory, whatever the change we have been done, the change is going to be reflected here, the change is going to be reflected here, the change is going to be reflected here. So inside the copy, call by value, call by reference, whatever the manipulation we have done, that manipulation is going to be reflected outside the method. So inside the, after swapping the values inside the main method, it is going to display the values as what, it is going to display the values as what, a is equal to, a is equal to 20 and b is equal to 10. And just now inside the call by value, a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, as it is, it has been written. But inside the call by reference, if I execute this program, if I execute this program means, what is the output it is going to be displayed. If I execute this program means, what is the output it is going to be displayed. Here inside the main method, what is the value, a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. And inside the swap method, what is the value it has been displayed, a is equal to 20, b is equal to 10. And again we are moving into the main method. Inside the main method, what is the value it is displaying here means, it is displaying the value as what, it is displaying the value as a is equal to 20 and b is equal to 10. Whatever the manipulation, whatever the modification we have done, that modification is going to be reflected outside this swap method. And why it is outside reflecting here means, here we have passed it as what, call by reference. Here we have passed the values as what, call by reference. And this is all about what is the difference between the call by value and call by reference. And I think all of you understood about the, what is the difference between the call by value and call by reference. And here what are the changes, or what are the, in exam point of view, the people are going to ask what is the difference between the call by value and call by reference means. Call by value means, what is the thing we need to be remember, copy by, what is the thing we need to be remember, copy by what, copy by value. And call by reference means, what is the thing we need to be remember, address of the value is going to be passed. Here what is the copy of value is going to be passed to the function. Here what is the thing it is inside the call by reference, what is the thing it is going to be passed, address of the value is going to be passed. And changes made it inside the function are limited to the function only. Inside the what, whatever the changes we have made, those values are going to be changed only inside the function, not going to be changed outside the function. And here what is the values changed inside the function are going to be validated outside the what, validated outside the what, validated outside to the what, function here. And here call by value means what, inside the sum method the memory is different, inside the main method the memory is different. And different memory locations, the values are actual and formal arguments are having what, different memory locations. And whereas inside the call by reference, actual and formal arguments are having the what, same memory location, actual and formal arguments are having the what, same memory location. And this is the thing we are these are the differences between the what, call by value and call by reference. first important point to be remembered under the call by reference and call by value as what? Value cannot be modified, value can be modified. When the value is not, why the value is not going to be modified, why the value is going to be modified, value is going to be modified here means, here what is the, here we are passing it as what? Copy by value, that's why the value is not going to be modified. Here we are passing the parameters as what? Address of value we are passing, that's why the value is going to be modified here. And here why the value has been not modified means, the formal arguments and actual arguments are having what? Different memory locations, different memory locations. Inside the main method, a memory is what? 100. Inside the sum method, a memory is what? 200. That's why even though we are manipulating inside the sum method, the value has not been changed. But inside the call by reference, why the value has been changed? Because a and b, a value memory inside the main method and a value memory inside the sum method is what? Same. That's why the value has been changed. Okay, these are the important points to be noted whenever we are whenever we are explaining about the what? Call by value and call by reference. And this type of scenario we are going to be called it as what? This type of scenario we are going to be called it as what? Passing parameters to the functions. What is the one more concept we are going to be discussed here? What is the concept we are going to be discussed? And here we are going to discuss about the what? Passing arrays to the functions. What is the, how the arrays are going to be passed to the functions, and how the pointers are going to be passed to the functions. And just now we had discussed about the what? Call by reference means what? Call by reference ante intaku munde discuss chesam kada. Okay, and here now we are going to discuss about the what? In this class we are going to discuss how we are going to pass arrays to the functions, how we are going to pass pointers to the functions, and which type of things we are going to be called it as a standard functions and libraries, and recursion means what. And at last we are, if possible means, today's class itself we are going to discuss dynamic memory allocations also. And here what is the next concept we are having here means, passing arrays to the what? Functions. How we are going to pass arrays to the what? Functions here. Is it possible to pass arrays to the functions or not? Here we are going to check. Here you can pass what? You can pass n entry array to the what? Functions. We can, it is possible to pass arrays as to the what? Functions here. And how we can pass, in which type of scenario we can pass? We can pass the entire array at a time, or we can pass array as what? Individual variable. We can pass array individual array elements means what? A of 0 is one individual element, A of 1 is one individual element, A of 2 is one individual element. And we can pass as individual elements, or we can pass the entire array at a time, entire total array at a time to the what? Function. And if you understood these two programs, how we are going to pass an array individual elements, and how we are going to pass total array to the what? Function. And now we are going to see one example about the what? How passing arrays to the what? Functions here. Passing arrays to the what? Functions. And here here what is the thing we have been declared? All of you listen carefully here. There is one more concept called inter-thread communication. Inside the inter-thread communication, if you are calling from here to here means, this approach we are going to be called it as what? Top to down approach. Top to down. And here what is the approach we are calling here means, here main method is downside, and here we are calling from here. And this type of approach we are going to be called it as what? Bottom up approach. We can call from bottom to up, or we can call from top to bottom also. That is another concept. But here current concept is what? How we are going to pass arrays to the what? How we are going to pass array individual elements to the what? Function. And here inside this array, what are the values we have been stored? Inside this array, what are the values we have been stored? Here we have been stored something 2, 8, 12. 2 has been stored at array age array of 0, and 8 has been stored array age of what? 1, and array age of 2. 4 value has been stored, and array age of 3. What is the value has been stored? 12. And here we are passing the array of what? Here we are passing the entire array or individual array elements. Here we are passing something as what? Individual array elements. Here we are passing something as what? Individual array elements. And while calling the function, here we are passing something individual array elements as what? Age array of 1. And this age array of 1 is going to be copied into the what? Age of 1, it is going to be copied. And here it is going to display it as what? Age of 1 means what is the value it is going to be displayed? 8. And array age array of 2 means what is the value we are having? 4. That 4 is going to be copied into the what? Age of 2. And this type of passing we are going to be called it as what? Passing an array as what? Individual elements. And if I execute this program means what is the output it is going to be displayed by the display method? Means it is going to display it as what? 8, 4. And if I am compiling and executing this program means what is the output it is displaying here? Means it is displaying the output as what? 8, and it is displaying the output as what? 4. And why it is displaying the 8 and 4 means here we have passed it as what? Here we have passed it as what? Age array of what? 1 we have passed, and age array of what? 2 we have been passed. That's why it has been displayed it as what? 8, 4. This type of passing we are going to be called it as what? Passing arrays as what? Individual elements. Now we are going to discuss about how we are going to pass the entire array at a time. How we are going to pass the entire array at a time. And here while passing the entire array at a time means how we are going to be passed here means here calculate sum. Okay, to calculate the sum of these array elements. And what is the functionality function definition we have been written? Calculate sum. And what is the parameter type we have been indicated? In the previous programs you have been indicated int a, like that you have been indicated. Here we have been indicated it as what? Array age of. And while passing the entire array means there is no need to pass what? There is no need to pass the array size here. We need to keep in what is the important point to keep in the mind means we need to indicate only the square opening and closing braces. And here what is the here while calling the function, what is the thing we are indicating? Calculate of sum. And here we are passing the array name itself, array name. And array name is what? Array name is what? Age. And here we are passing the entire array elements to this array elements to which function we are passing? Array elements to the what? Calculate sum function we are passing. And there we are receiving it as what? This age is going to be copied into this array. This age array is going to be copied into this array. And all of you know how to access the array elements. How to access the array elements, all of you know. And by using some for loop, we are accessing the array elements. Sum plus is equal to what? 0 plus sum of a of 0 means what is the thing? 23.4. Like that it is going to calculate 23.4 plus 55. All these values are, it is going to be copied, calculated, and it is going to be where the result we have been displayed. We have been displayed the result outside. Here the result value we are displaying it as what? Where the result value has been returned here means sum we have been written. That some value is going to be stored inside the what? Result. And here we are displaying it as what? Result here. And Okay. Is it possible to pass the entire array at a time? Means yes, it is possible. While passing just while calling the function, just we need to indicate what array name, and inside the function definition, what is the thing we need to be indicated? The type and array name, and what is the thing we need to be indicated? We need to indicate some opening square bracket and closing square bracket. Opening square bracket and closing square bracket we need to be indicated. And here if I execute this program, here if I execute this program means, and it is going to display the, it is going to display the what result is equal to 162.50. It is displaying 162.50. Suppose if I change these values, here I am changing the values as some 0. Here I am passing the value as what is the 1. Okay, whether it has been calculated the sum or not, we are going to be checked. And here I am indicating it as 4, and here I am indicating it as 5, and control is save. And here I am once again, what is the thing I am executing here? Once again I am executing the program, build and run. And here it is displaying the value as what? Here it is displaying the value as what? 15.0. Here it is displaying the value as what? Result is equal to, what is the value it is displaying? 15.0. And in this manner, it is possible to pass arrays as what? Parameters to the function. While passing the array to the function means, here single dimensional array means there is no need to indicate the size. Single dimensional array means there is no need to indicate the what size inside the function definition. And while calling the function, just we need to indicate the what array name. Just we need to indicate the what array name itself. And these are the things we need to be remember for the what. These are the things we need to be remember for the what. Okay, passing an individual array to the what function. And suppose passing the entire array to the what function. And suppose if we want to pass some two-dimensional array to the functions here. Suppose if we want to pass some two-dimensional arrays to the what function, multi-dimensional array to the function. And multi-dimensional arrays are what? You cannot return which value. In just now inside the single dimensional array we have applied something as what? Return statement. Single dimensional array we have applied something as what? Return statement to display the result. But for the two-dimensional array, what is the statement is not been applicable means you cannot return the return arrays from the what? Cannot return arrays from what? Functions inside the what? Two-dimensional array. And if we are passing the two-dimensional array, and here similar how the single dimensional array we have been passed, in the same manner we are passing something as what? Two-dimensional array. But here what is the, while declaring the two-dimensional array, here we need to indicate something as what? Size. While pass at the function definition, the parameter argument, inside the parameter arguments we need to indicate something as what? We need to indicate something as what? Array size we need to be indicated. What is the row size and what is the column size we need to be indicated. And why it is inside the two-dimensional array, there is no need, there is no chance of returning something as what? There is no chance of using the other prototype as what? Other prototype as what? Int, float, like this we cannot declare. Why? Because two-dimensional array values are not going to be returned by using the return statement. That's why how those values are going to be displayed means from the function itself we are going to display by using the which statement we are going to be displayed by using the statement called printf statement we are going to be displayed by using the which statement we are going to be displayed here means printf statement. And this is all about what? This is all about how we are going to pass arrays to the what? Functions. How we are going to pass arrays to the functions. and pointers, passing parameters of type as pointers means what is the concept just now we have been discussed. Passing parameters of pointers means what is the concept we have been discussed. Call by reference. Call by reference concept we have been discussed, and the call by reference concept is applicable to the what? Call by reference concept is applicable to the what? Passing parameters to the what? Passing pointers to the what? Functions. Call by reference concept is applicable to the what? Passing parameters to the passing pointers to the what? Functions. And here you can write the example program of call by reference, or you can write in this manner also. Here whenever we are passing the call by reference means what is the thing, and person we need to be passed, but p is equal to what is the thing we have been indicated, and person I, indirectly what is the thing you are passing, and person I, and that address is going to be copied into the what? Pointer. And this is uh, for the concept called passing pointers to the functions. You can write the example of what? If you understood about the call by reference means you can write that concept to the what? You can explain that concept to the what? Passing parameters, passing pointers to the what? Functions. Passing pointers to the what? Functions. And now what is the other concept we are going to be discussed? C standard library functions means what? User defined or predefined? Predefined, or we are going to be called it as what? Standard library functions. And inbuilt functions we are going to be called it as what? Standard library functions. Where these functions are going to be existed means inside the which file it is, those functions are going to be existed inside the file called what? Header file. Those functions are going to be existed inside the header file. Those functions are going to be existed. And here what is the built-in function we are using inside this program? What is the built-in function we are using inside this program is printf function we are using, and that printf function is included by using the which header file, where that printf function code has been written inside the header file called stdio.h. Inside the header file called stdio.h. And here what is the here we are having something. What is the advantages inside the exam? You can explain betterly about the standard library functions, but what is the important question they are going to be asked here means, what is the important question they are going to be asked here means advantages of using C library functions. Advantages of using C library functions. What is the advantage? It is simple and we can use multiple times. And okay, whether it is easy to use or hard, it is complicated to use. It is easy to use. And what is the other thing we are going to have? For that, what is the from where we are going to include those functions? From the file called, from the standard library functions. From the standard library, we are going to be included. Here what is the thing is going to be saved? Time is going to be saved. Suppose if you want to calculate the square root means, what is the functionality we are going to use? Square root functionality we are going to be using. There is no need to write the code once again for the square root functionality. Just hash include math.h, and inside the program we are going to use what? Square root function. And by using that, what is the thing is going to be saved means the time is going to be saved. And what is the thing is going to be, those functions are portable on any kind of platform. That's why we can use in any number of programs we can use. And that's why we are calling it as what? Portable. We are calling it as what? The functions are what? Portable. And what are the advantages we need to be remember? They work, and the functions are optimized for performance. They give best performance. And what is the third advantage? It will save the time. And what is the fourth advantage? It is portable in any kind of environment. That's why we can use anywhere. And here now we are going to discuss one example about the what? Standard library function here. And standard library function. And here to find out the square root means we are not writing any code for the what, we are not writing the code for the what, square root, and just we are including what is the statement we have been included, math.h, and here we are find outing the square root and storing that result inside the what, root. And here we are using user defined function or built-in function. Here we are using something as what, built-in function. The square root function code has already been defined by the C developers. Where that code has been stored means that code has been stored inside a file called math.h. And here if I am executing this program, means it is going to build and run. And if I am executing this program means it is going to give the okay, square root of 9 I want to be find out it. And square root of 9 is what, 9 is 3. And here what is the advantage, what is the time has been consumed, here there is the programmer has not written the code for the what, square root. Already the code is existed inside the math.h. He just simply included a statement called include math.h. And the square root value he has been find outed by using the which functionality, square root of and just passing the number to that function. And this is all about what, how to use built-in functions. What are the different types of built-in functions are there, and where those functions are there. Assertion related functions are existed in assert.h, and character type functions are existed in c type.h. Mathematical functions are existed in math.h. And okay, string functions are existed in string.h. And IO functions are existed in standard library.h. And date and time functions are existed in time.h. This is all about the what, library functions in different header files. And now we are going to discuss one important topic called recursion. Important topic called recursion. What is the topic name? Recursion. Recursion means what is the single line definition? Single line we need to be remember here means recursion means the function that calls itself, we are going to be called it as what, recursive function. The function that calls itself, we are going to be called it as what, recursive function. The function that calls itself, we are going to be called it as what, recursive function. And what is the how, if anybody asks about what is meant by the recursion means, what is the definition you need to give? The function that calls itself, we are going to be called it as what, recursion. And here what is the from the main method we are calling something as recurse, and it is moving here, and from this line up to here it has been moved. From this line where it is moving once again, it is moving once again to the what, recurse method. It is moving once again to the what, recurse method. And in this manner the recursive function, that's why we are calling it as what, the function that calls itself, we are going to be called it as what, recursion. The function that calls itself, we are going to be called it as what, recursive function. And suppose all of you listen carefully here. Now we are going to see practically, and how the recursive function is going to be okay. Here I am keeping all these lines in comment. And here where the main method is existed. Okay, here the main method is existed. And just now what is the concept we have been discussed? Recursion. Recursion means what? The function that calls itself, we are going to be called it as what? Recursion. And here I am saving the program, and here build, here build, and build and run. And here it is not showing any errors, but it is going to run for infinity number of times. And here there is no output statement. Here there is no output statement. That's why it is displaying it as empty, and it is going to run for how many times it is going to be run? Infinity number of times. How many times? Here we have not kept any condition to stop this function. It is coming to the main function and executing the main. Again it is calling the main function and entering into the main function, and again it is calling. It is going to run for infinite number of times. Whether it is running for infinite number of times or not, now we are going to be checked. Whether it is running for infinite number of times or not, now we are going to be checked. And here I want to display hello for infinity number of times. I want to display this hello for infinite number of times by using a logic called recursion. And here, what is the functionality I am calling? Main method. After entering into the main, what is the statement it has to be displayed? It has to display something as what? Hello. And here I am saving this program and build and okay, build and run. And how many number of times it is going to be displayed? It is displaying the hello for how many number of times? It is displaying the hello for what? Infinity number of times, and infinity number of times, and infinity number of times it is displaying. And here what is the okay inside the recursion, what is the thing, what is the to stop, to avoid infinity number of calls means what is the logic we need to be written to avoid the infinity number of calls to the same function means what is the thing we need to be, what is the logics we need to be written, what is the logics we need to be written, we need to be remember. First of all, what is the point we need to be remember for the recursion? The function that calls itself, we are going to be called it as what? Recursion. And if we are calling only the function and displaying the hello means what is the, how many times it is displayed? Infinity number of times it is going to be displayed. And here to avoid that means what is the logic we need to be written inside the what? Recursive functions. To prevent infinity recursions means what is the logic we are writing? To prevent infinity recursions means what is the statement we need to be written? If else condition we need to be written. If else statement we need to be written. And if the condition becomes true means make the recursive call. Else stop the recursive call. Else stop the recursive call. To prevent the infinity recursions means what is the statement we need to keep, what is the logic we need to remember in our mind means to what is the logic we are, what is the logic we need to be remember in our mind means we need to remember something as what? If else logic we need to be remember. We need to remember something as what? If else logic we need to be remember. And here what is the here I want to display the hello for how many times I want to display means I want to display hello for only for what? One time. Then what is the logic I am writing? Here I am declaring one variable as what? Static int n is equal to, and n is equal to what is the value I have been assigned it? 2. N is equal to what is the statement I am first of all firstly it is going to call this whenever this function has been invoked means first time when main method is going to be executed and it is going to display something as what? Hello. After that n is equal to what? 2, and n is equal to 2 minus 1 means what is the statement it is going to be executed? N is equal to 2 minus 1 means what is the value it is going to be? N is equal to 2 minus 1 means 1. If n double equal to 1 means what is the thing we are writing? We are writing something as return. Return means what? Inside the jumped statements we have been discussed about the return statement also. Return means what? Exit from the here we are not returning any value, simple return statement we are writing, and simply it is going to come out from the what? Main method. And here if I execute this program, else if n not equal to 1 means again the function is going to be invoked, again the function is going to call itself. And to avoid the infinity number of times execution means we are writing something as what if else logic we are writing. And if I execute this means, if I execute this means how many times it is going to be displayed. It is going to display something as what hello for one time. And if I am indicating n is equal to 5, and how many times it is going to display. Here I am saving the program, and here I am once again build and run. How many times it has been displayed? It has been displayed the hello for 4 times. It has been displayed. It has been displayed the hello for what? 4 number of times. And recursion means what? The function that calls itself, we are going to be called it as what? Recursion. And it is going to display for infinite number of times. To avoid that infinite number of times means, what is the logic we need to be written inside the function means, we need to use something as what? If else statement. If else conditional statements we need to be used. And inside the exam point of view, recursion concept is most important. And okay, inside the exams, what are the programs the people are going to ask? What are the programs the people are going to ask here? They are going to ask some factorial program using recursion. They are going to ask some Fibonacci series using the recursion. They are going to ask recursion using the what? Tower of honey type question they are going to be asked. What is meant by this type of thing? We are going to be called it as what? Tower of honey. Tower of honey concept the people are going to ask. Or in the exams they are going to ask the programs on recursion, simple definition, and they are going to ask one program. What are the programs you need to be remember means, factorial program, Fibonacci series program, or tower of honey program, or some of the numbers also we need to be remember. Now we are going to see factorial program here. And what is the logic we have been written. And here from the main method, what is the logic we have been applied? Factorial of what is the I value we are having? I is equal to what? 4 we are having. Factorial of 4. And here whenever we are calling factorial of 4 means it is invoking this function. And that 4 is going to be copied into the where? That 4 is going to be copied into I. And 4 less than or equal to 1. It is not less than or equal to 1. So here it is going to return some 4 into what is the statement it is going to be written? What is the statement it is going to be written? 4 into fact of, okay, factorial of, what is the factorial of, what is the value it is going to be written here means 4 into factorial of what is the value it is going to be written? I minus 1. I value is what? 4. 4 minus 1 means what? 3. Again factorial of 3 is going to be invoked. And again it is going to write something logic as what? Again it is going to apply some logic as what? Now what is the logic it is going to be applied? 3 into what is the logic it is going to be applied? 3 into 3 minus 1. 3 into 3 minus 1. And 3 minus 1 means what? 2. Again once again this function is going to be invoked. Again what is the value it is going to be displayed? What is the statement it is going to be done? 2 into fact of 1 it is going to be indicated. 2 into fact of 1. And 2 into fact of 1 means, again fact of 1 means I 1 less than or equal to 1 means what? 1. And now the factorial value it is going to be displayed it as what? It is going to display it as what? 1. It is going to display it as what? 1. And here 5 into what is the 5 into 4 into reverse approach. 5 into 4 into 3 into 1 logic is going to be applied, and finally it is going to return the factorial value. Diagrammatically now we are going to see. And here whether it is displaying the factorial of 4 or not, we are going to be checked. Here 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Here if I am executing this program, means what is the result it is going to be displayed. What is the result it is going to be displayed? 4 is what? 24. And 24 means 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, nothing but what? 24. And here just to see the, we are having less time. Okay, just to see this diagram and understand carefully here. And whenever we are calling the factorial of, inside this example, we are calling factorial of 5. It is going to store inside a stack. All of you know what is meant by the stack. Last in, okay, last in, first out, we are going to be called it as what? Stack. Inside this, which one is inserted first? Console of log. After that, what is the thing it has been inserted? Factorial of 5. And after that, what is the thing it has been inserted? Factorial of 4. Tarvata 4. After factorial of 4, what has been inserted? Factorial of 4. After that, what is the thing? Factorial of 3. After that, what is the thing? Factorial of 2. After that, what is the thing? Factorial of 1. And factorial of 1 means what is the value it has been written? 1. And returns 1. After that, it comes, just now we have seen in the top to bottom. Okay, bottom to top. And now from top to bottom. Stack means what? Last in, first out. First returns the 1. After that, returns 1 into 2. After that, returns, what is the here? Return value is what? 2. And returns 2 into 3. 3 into 2. After that, returns what? After that, returns what? Returns 4 into 6. After that, returns 5 into 24. After that, 5 into 24 means what is the output? 120. 120. That 120 is going to be returned as what? Final output. And this is all about what? Factorial function using the what? Recursion.